Few video game characters are as instantly recognizable or as divisive as Duke Nukem. A relic of a bygone era, Duke epitomizes the over-the-top bravado and irreverent humor of 1990s gaming. His sunglasses, muscular physique, and endless stream of one-liners made him a pop culture icon, while the games he starred in pushed boundaries in both design and tone. Yet, Duke's journey hasn't been without controversy and missteps. From his groundbreaking beginnings to his infamous fall from grace, the story of Duke Nukem is one of triumph, experimentation, and cautionary tales. The Duke Nukem saga began in 1991, when Apogee Software, now 3D Realms, released a simple side-scrolling platformer for MS-DOS. The game was developed by Todd Replogle and Alan Blum, with Scott Miller serving as producer and contributing to its marketing. At first glance, Duke Nukem wasn't particularly groundbreaking. The titular hero was little more than a generic protagonist in a brightly colored, alien-infested world. Players controlled Duke as he battled robotic foes, collected power-ups, and saved the Earth. Yet even in these early days, the seeds of Duke's larger-than-life persona were being planted. Inspired by 1980s action heroes like Arnold Schwarzenegger's Terminator and Bruce Willis's John McClane, the team gave Duke a cocky attitude and an exaggerated love for destruction. By the time Duke Nukem 2 arrived in 1993, the character's personality was more fleshed out, and the game itself was more polished, featuring improved graphics, smoother gameplay, and a touch more humor. However, it wasn't until 1996 that Duke truly ascended to gaming royalty. Released in 1996, Duke Nukem 3D was a transformative moment for the franchise and for first-person shooters as a whole. Developed using the Build engine, Duke Nukem 3D took the fledgling FPS genre, popularized by games like Doom and Wolfenstein 3D, and injected it with personality, interactivity, and a uniquely adult sense of humor. The game's plot was simple: aliens invade Earth, and Duke takes it upon himself to save the world, but its execution was anything but ordinary. One of the game's standout features was its level design. Unlike the linear corridors of Doom, Duke Nukem 3D offered multi-layered, semi-open environments filled with secrets, destructible objects, and interactive elements. Players could flush toilets, use mirrors, and explore hidden rooms. This interactivity gave the game a sense of immersion that was revolutionary at the time. The weapons, too, were memorable, ranging from traditional pistols and shotguns to creative tools like the Shrink Ray, which let players stomp on miniaturized enemies. Of course, no discussion of Duke Nukem 3D would be complete without addressing its tone. Duke himself, voiced by John St. John, delivered an endless stream of macho one-liners, many of which were direct references to action films and pop culture. Lines like "It's time to kick ass and chew bubblegum," and "I'm all out of gum" became iconic. The game's humor, which often veered into the risque, was a reflection of the 1990s anything goes attitude in gaming. This irreverence, coupled with its groundbreaking design, cemented Duke Nukem 3D as a classic. By the late 1990s, Duke Nukem was a household name among gamers. His persona resonated with fans who appreciated his tongue-in-cheek take on action hero cliches. The character became synonymous with the excesses of the era, both celebrated and criticized for his unapologetic machismo. While many fans loved the humor and chaos, others found the series' treatment of women and reliance on shock value problematic. Despite these criticisms, Duke Nukem 3D inspired countless games that followed. Its mix of action, exploration, and interactivity influenced everything from Half-Life to Grand Theft Auto. Moreover, its bold personality paved the way for other character-driven games, proving that protagonists didn't have to be silent or faceless to succeed. If Duke Nukem 3D represented the peak of the series, Duke Nukem Forever would become its most infamous chapter. Announced in 1997, Duke Nukem Forever quickly became one of gaming's most anticipated sequels. However, what followed was a saga of delays, mismanagement, and changing priorities that spanned more than a decade. The game's development was marked by constant shifts in technology and vision. Each time a new game engine was released, the developers would scrap their progress and start over, chasing the elusive goal of creating the perfect game. By the time Duke Nukem Forever was finally released in 2011, after 14 years in development, the gaming landscape had changed dramatically. What once seemed edgy and innovative now felt outdated and crass. Critics and fans alike panned the game for its clunky mechanics, juvenile humor, and lack of focus. It was a stark reminder of how quickly the industry evolves and how dangerous it can be to chase perfection at the expense of practicality. Despite the disappointment of Duke Nukem Forever, the character and series remain beloved by many. Part of Duke's enduring appeal lies in his ability to evoke nostalgia for a simpler time in gaming. The 1990s were a period of experimentation and excess, and Duke Nukem embodied those qualities perfectly. His irreverence and bravado may not align with modern sensibilities, but they serve as a reminder of an era when games weren't afraid to take risks and have fun. Today, Duke Nukem lives on through re-releases, fan projects, and mods. Games like Ion Fury and Dusk pay homage to the classic FPS formula pioneered by Duke Nukem 3D, while fans continue to celebrate the character through memes, artwork, and online communities. Duke's catchphrases and larger-than-life persona have transcended the games themselves, ensuring his place in gaming history. The story of Duke Nukem is one of highs and lows, a testament to both the potential and pitfalls of game development. On one hand, the series showcased the power of personality-driven design, proving that a memorable protagonist can elevate a game to iconic status. On the other hand, the troubled development of Duke Nukem Forever serves as a cautionary tale about the dangers of overambition and failing to adapt to a changing industry. Ultimately, Duke Nukem represents more than just a character, he represents an era. His irreverent humor, bombastic action, and groundbreaking gameplay captured the spirit of the 1990s, making him a symbol of a time when games dared to be bold, brash, and unapologetically fun. While the king may no longer reign supreme, his legacy endures, reminding us to kick ass, chew bubblegum, and never take ourselves too seriously.